them go. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Oh, hopefully everyone can see everything okay. A little bit of a late start because our 125 is acting a little wonky. And so I do have Metalhead who will be coming on, but he is currently in the middle of a water change. So it's going to be just a few minutes until he comes on, which is okay. In the meantime, I will finish setting all of this up and start saying hi to all of you. And let me see here. Patty was the first person to actually say hello. So I love being able to play that video. Okay, now we're set up, I think. So I did see Patty first, My Fish Tanks Aquatics, Mark Sterlson, Eric Wyrock, two Coolies for Schoolie, Hippie John, Hillbilly Aquatics, Liquid Zoo, Scotty Aquati, Dr. Anthony, hello, Mississippi Hippie, hello. My signal is terrible today. Okay. I don't know why. I have noticed that for some reason it is being a little goofy. And I think I lost signal for a second. Okay. The Wi-Fi has been acting weird today, and I don't know why. So I figured it was probably just better maybe if I don't run on Wi-Fi on my phone to stream. Video is complete, blur audio is choppy. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. I did notice for some reason that our Wi-Fi is acting weird today. It's been raining and gloomy and disgusting. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. It is what it is. Paul McCarthy, B Wizzle, what's up? B Wizzle says everything sounds good. Okay, so yeah, so I just essentially turned the Wi-Fi off on my phone. I'm just gonna run off my data. It's no big deal. Because I'm not gonna try and figure out what in the world is going on with the Wi-Fi. So it's fine. And then, like I said, in the meantime, Metalhead is finishing up a water change on this 125, and then he will be popping in. So we're going to try something kind of a little bit new as far as my stream goes. I kind of felt like things were getting a little bit stale. It was becoming too much of a job for me, not as much fun. So we are basically weekly going to pick a specific fish, whether it be one that we own or one that we just really, really enjoy. We'll pick that fish. That'll be the topic. That'll be the fish that we talk about during my time. And today I decided to go with Oscars. We have several Oscars. I absolutely love them. They're water puppies. Their characters are just hilarious. They pout. You can tell when they're happy. You can tell when they're upset. Ours, you can actually sometimes pet. It depends on their mood. So yeah, we're gonna go with kind of talking about Oscars, what we love about them, what you guys love about them, maybe answer questions if anybody has any questions, and it'll be like that every week. It'll be a different fish every week that we talk about. So Liquid Zoo, I love Oscars. I really do too. And I mean, there obviously we have tons of different fish that we can choose from and talk about. So running out of ideas anytime soon, I don't think is going to be an issue, but of all of the different fish and all of the different tanks that we have. The Oscars I absolutely love interacting with. I love feeding them. I love being able to pet them. I love watching their moods. They're a ton of fun. B. Lizzle says, hey all, I want some Oscars one day. Oscars, that's one fish that I've always said, if you can own it and you have the means, tank size wise, to own one, at least once in your life, owning Oscars is like my go-to recommendation. They're so much fun. Lady Diane, I love Oscars too, but as a youngster, I was unaware I was abusing the poor thing, too small tank. And that's the thing. A lot of people, I mean, you can start out with a small tank with your Oscars, but a lot of people, I don't think, realize how big they get and how quickly they can grow. I mean, our Oscars went from being in something that, was small to fit their needs to they're now in our 600-gallon pool pond in our basement. So they can grow rapidly. And they definitely need that space or they will get into their little pouty moods and they tend to fight a little bit more too. So, but they absolutely love the environment that they're in now. Are you ready? I think we're going to be bringing Metalhead in, I think. Are you in? You are now.
Hi. This table is too close to the tank.
It's really not. You're just a big guy. What?
Yeah. I want that camera. This one's on.
Okay, so hang on.
I can do that too.
You got it figured out? Rico Stan, hello. Maybe if you.
No, I'm not even in the right one.
Oh, he's not in the right one. Zen Ginger, I can't stand the idea of using the footprint of an entire 75-gallon tank for 1 to 2 fish and no plants. That's the other thing. A 75-gallon, you're only going to get 1 or 2 Oscars in there comfortably, and decorations, forget about it. They're going to move them around. They're going to kick them. They're going to get them out of the way. They will move their substrate out of the way. They can definitely be quite moody. And I mean, on that same token, we have a 90-gallon fish tank that's got 1 fish in it.
An angry fish.
Bobby the Brain, our flower horn, is in a 90-gallon all by himself because we wouldn't be able to put him with anything else anyway. Probably. Hopefully that fixed it. I hope.
The echo gone.
We'll wait and see.
Echo on you.
Oh.
Your echo. How about now? Are you on that too?
Nope. I don't have StreamYard up on this. I just had YouTube Chatter.
Let me just do that one too. There we go.
Everybody says all good now. Okay.
Okay.
So, whoops. I'm trying to bring it up. I saw a comment. Mark Charleston says, I have never had or ever want an Oscar, just not my cup of tea. And I mean, obviously an Oscar isn't for everybody.
Nope. And that's the beauty of it. There's enough different kinds of fish. You don't necessarily just have to go with what everybody's getting,
Right.
Me personally, I'm a fan of the longfin, but nobody has them around here for some reason.
Patty says now, just don't touch anything.
Just don't touch anything.
Yeah, because sound is good, audio is good.
Well, I muted this too, but I turned the mic off internally on that, so that shouldn't have been causing anything. But just to be safe.
Right.
That's weird.
I moved it so that it actually, when I'm looking at you, I'm actually looking at you. Anyway.
What's up, Hippie John, Eric, Mark, Lady Diane, Zen Ginger, Vinoski, B Wizzle, Patty? How's everybody doing? Sorry, I didn't get to say hi to nobody. Don't even look at it.
I feel like some days that's just how we have to be with our technology. Like, don't touch it, don't look at it.
Today's been the only day that hasn't been a Monday this week.
Yes.
I'm excited.
Mark says, my son has one and I swear he treats it better than his kids. I mean, I can see that. And Oscar is definitely a fish that's easy to baby because they really are a water puppy.
Oh yeah. And they have attitudes.
Very much so.
They can be little jerks. They can be little angels that quickly revert back to being jerks.
Yep.
But they're fun. And as long as I've kept fish, I've pretty much for the most part had one.
Yeah, I don't think there was really much time frame where we didn't have Oscars. We've always had at least one Oscar.
Hippie John says, B Wizzle, you can't be sleeping if you're typing.
That's true. Very true.
I didn't freeze up on there, but I didn't freeze up on here.
Because this is on Wi-Fi where your phone is not on Wi-Fi.
I'm not worried about this.
Something's going on with the Wi-Fi, so I don't know.
I'm not using it.
Mark Storlson says angels can be jerks as well. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Believe me, we actually do have angels, and I'm sure eventually we will highlight and talk about them as well. And yes, they can be just as mean or jerks. Not really mean, but
You know, I'm finding out slowly that discus can be jerks. Not like hugely, but this is an Oscar thing. It's not the discus day.
I know. We'll have to. That'll be for another week. And that's the other thing too, guys. If you ever have a fish that you want us to highlight and talk about, so that you can throw your knowledge out there or ask questions about that specific fish, let me know. Put it in the comments, whatever you need to do, and I'll get it on the list, and it's something that we can definitely highlight in a future episode for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Diane says cichlids in general are jerks. Yeah, we have plenty of cichlids. Mm-hmm. We definitely know how that goes. For sure. Yeah.
But the nice thing with Oscars, the bigger environment they're in, sometimes the calmer they are.
Yes.
Sometimes. They can still be, even down in the pond, they can still be little jerks. Especially when Split's trying to get to the shrimp. And he's like a tank. He has to turn around and they just go over and bite it and take off with it. Or they block him. And they don't even want to eat it. They're just blocking him.
Right.
And then he just kind of swims over him. And yeah, they can. It's fun watching them. They'll team up and two of them will pair off and go one way and the other two will kind of swim with him. It's like they're telling each other what he's doing.
Yeah, kind of.
Can you walk an Oscar?
I bet
probably could in the pool.
You know, I was just
tie a little string around them.
I bet we could like mock up some kind of a
I don't think that would
system and like.
I don't think that would be well. You can walk them with a net.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
What are we putting in the 90-gallon? I don't know. I'm actually thinking about saltwater.
Oh, I hate you.
Why?
Because I was actually last night thinking the same thing. I was like, we have the perfect opportunity for a great sized tank. We could probably go saltwater.
Yeah.
The fact that you and I are constantly on the same wavelength without even, this is the first time we've actually discussed what we might put in this tank. And we both had the same idea. It's really, really scary. That's almost 19 years of marriage for you guys, folks.
I just thought it'd be a decent opportunity.
Absolutely. And there's so many different things saltwater wise that we could have fun with.
And with it being a 90-gallon, the maintenance won't be as difficult as it was when that was a saltwater tank.
Yes.
The
For sure.
29 gallon behind her.
Yep.
That one sucked.
Yeah.
That was the worst saltwater tank to maintain.
So yeah, we can, I guess, bring that up since Kelly asked anyway. Kelly Foreman is paying us a visit tomorrow and giving us a 90-gallon tank. That's why she asked maybe what we were going to put into it. She did mention it has overflows. So, I mean, this may actually be a good opportunity to set up a saltwater tank. I don't know.
The only downfall is that means I have to build another stand for that one so I can get the room for the 90 gallon.
Yes.
That's the only downfall, but it's not a big deal.
No.
Wonder if Jason's going to answer his phone when I call him.
Oh my goodness gracious. These little puffers will eat the coral and are cool though, but if you need corals, let me know. Half price for y'all if you get a salt tank.
Cool.
Well, I appreciate that. We will definitely keep you in mind. And is it bad that if we do start salt, I don't know if I want saltwater puffers. I would rather have like tangs and really pretty.
I don't know. Cody's got a moray.
See, there are so many really, really cool options of things that we can get saltwater wise. And I mean, we have our, I guess he would be considered brackish.
Yeah.
I don't know, puffer.
Mark Sterelson says Tank Tetris Revisited. Yay. At least this one won't be as bad. It'll just be picking a tank up and setting it on the stand and getting the old stand out.
That's true. We'll see you, Kelly. We will actually see you tomorrow, ma'am.
Have a good night, Kelly.
John McKenzie, hello.
Yeah, that I am not looking forward to moving that 150 again. But I have to do it because that way I can get the FX6 actually under the stand or under the tank and on a stand versus sitting on the floor next to it because it's too tall.
Which is taking up space that we could have another tank sitting.
If I got that space back, then we could slip a 90 gallon right there.
Yes.
And that 29 can go anywhere. Because by then, hopefully somebody's in this tank.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's an idea. And it's already got overflows in it, so
yeah,
it's even better.
I think it's one of those things where we're going to have to see it. Like see the tank and then kind of go from there. But it's just funny that you mentioned salt water, and I was thinking about that last night. I'm like, this would be a great opportunity to start a saltwater tank.
Lady Diane says she loves 29s. This one's been a very good tank. We've had it. Actually, my mom gave it to us years ago, and I turned it into a saltwater tank. I didn't know squat about saltwater tanks. And it wound up becoming a huge nightmare. And I took it back to freshwater. But I don't know, man, I might have been doing something wrong or overthinking things or whatever. So I very well could have made it harder than it should have been. I do have that ability.
Well, and we weren't really as knowledgeable with maintaining tanks and all of that as we are now.
Yeah.
And I don't think we realize the effort that you have to put into a saltwater tank. So yeah, we just we were like, ooh, pretty saltwater fish, and we didn't really take time to research and learn like we should have, and it became a disaster.
It happens.
Paul McCarthy, I've always wanted to give saltwater a try. Yeah, I mean, we did try it once. It didn't really go over all that well, but
we did have a few cool things in there, though.
We did. We had some sea anemones, and we had a clownfish.
We basically had a Disney movie.
We did. We had Finding Nemo. But it's fine.
Eduardo,
hello.
So yeah, definitely a thought at least, you know. Could do. I was just over at the fish store today, and they have some really cool. Can't remember what they were called. Not a tang. I don't remember what it was called now. But it was a really cool fish called a hog face or something like that.
Oh,
And it was pretty cool. I'm not really well inept to saltwater fish.
yeah.
Not really that well versed in fresh either. I mean, I know certain ones, but I can't pick out a fish and give you its scientific name half the time. I don't know.
That's true.
But some of them I do. Some of them. But that's part of the fun of this. You don't claim to know everything.
No. No. I think if we knew everything there was to know about fish keeping and fish in general, it would just be really boring. And then
That
why
would
you
be-
want?
That would be proven wrong by any of my videos.
That's probably true.
Just any of them in general. Doesn't even. Although I was happy with the turnout of this. It was a big pain in the butt cleaning that sand slash gravel pit rock, but the water's clear as a crystal clear.
It actually doesn't look too bad. I
No.
mean, there's a little bit of a glare, I think. Yeah, from
Well,
your last
and there's a
time,
spot on this tank that I'm gonna have to try to buff out or something. Or wet sand.
yeah. Diane said, love the salty fish, but I'd have to give up all of the fresh for one salty tank.
Oof.
I mean, and that's the other thing that makes me nervous too is the startup is so expensive. But once you get everything you need to get it going, it's not as
It
bad.
pretty much, I don't want to say it takes care of itself, but it a good established saltwater tank. I mean, you still got your maintenance to do to it, but they're usually pretty reliable once they're established.
Yeah.
It's just getting them there.
It's just
And you got to learn how to read a hydrometer and all that, which not a big deal. But yeah,
so anyway, we got off of the Oscar topic really quick.
D
but-
Wizzle says he wants this dolphin freshwater looking fish. I'm thinking that might be the dolphin cichlid. What do they call them? The blue dolphins.
Probably.
I heard you can actually train those. If we're thinking of the same fish, I've heard you can actually train them, and they would be really cool to have. I don't know if we're talking about the same fish. I would imagine that's the only one I know of that it's called blue dolphin. Or it does look like a dolphin though.
They do.
Mhm.
They're really cool looking.
They're like really, really small dolphins.
And see, that's the other thing. Like, there's so many other freshwater fish that I wouldn't mind having and keeping. That it's like, do we want to go saltwater or it's just so hard.
Yeah,
But
there's options.
yeah, I think it's just kind of one of those things where it's going to be wait and see because there's still some things that we need to do to get this 150 going to get Frank put in it. So, one project at a time.
Yep. And there's stuff I got to do to that tank and
Right.
that tank.
There's just.
That's about the only one I'm pretty much done with.
Yeah. I mean, other than ordering more discus.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think we have too many projects going right now. And
Not really.
this 90-gallon that we're getting from Kelly kind of almost literally fell into our lap because she literally lives like 10 minutes from us. And, I had been told that, we could get this tank and it was just the tank, not the stand. And I have Kelly's number, so I started texting her right away. And, before I knew it, she was like, we'll come and bring it to your house on Sunday. So she'll be bringing this tank to us tomorrow.
I am pretty good at pond stuff, so if she needs my help, I will help.
Oh, that's right.
I know everybody was joking about that earlier, but I'll help. Doesn't bother me.
Talking about helping Kelly with pond stuff?
Yeah, I think she's trying to build a pond or something.
She does have a pond.
Or
in her
has one?
backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Wonder if she wants another one.
She doesn't have a very big backyard.
Neither do I.
No, her backyard is actually way smaller than ours. Her backyard is about the equivalent of the front yard for us. So, and as far, I don't believe there's a fence.
She could have a front yard pond too.
She has like literally no front yard.
Yeah. I'm a fan of getting rid of all the grass and just concreting everything.
Well, it'd be easier to park the motorcycles if it was all concrete.
Yeah, but man, what they want to drop some concrete. Wow. You guys think wood prices are high. Go get a quote for an 8x12 patch of concrete.
It's pretty bad. Yeah. So everybody's just kind of saying hi to everybody in the chat. I'm trying to keep up and make sure I'm not missing any questions.
I haven't seen any.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys have any questions or comments, Oscar related, or I guess in general, anything, tag me or Josh in it so that we actually see it, because I'm running on my phone, but I have chat on my laptop. Same for him. He's running on his phone, but he's got chat on his laptop. So we have a lot of devices in front of us right now. It's hard to keep track of everything.
Probably why you can't use the Wi-Fi. There might be too many things on it.
I didn't think about that. And the sad thing is our teenagers are with his mom this weekend, so there's less electronics being fed onto the Wi-Fi, but it's still being really weird. So whatever. Don't know.
So out of all the Oscars that we've had and all the ones that you've seen on the internet, what would be your favorite? You know, because mine's longfin or albino reds. But they do have this, what is it, super red Oscar? Mm-hmm. That thing is pretty.
Those are gorgeous.
Yeah.
See, and the funny thing for me is I like the lemons because they mimic an albino, but they're not actually albino. Mm-hmm. And I think from the time you get them when they're small, if you get them small to as they're growing, they're so pretty, and their color doesn't really change a whole lot, but their spots spread out, and they're really pretty. And we do have a couple of lemons, don't we?
Well, they were sold to us as lemons. I don't think they are.
I don't know.
They're not lemony enough. If that's a thing. Enough. Now, the Hawaiian Fishkeeper, he's got 2 Snow White Oscars, I think. Basically, they're platinum.
Yeah.
But they are beautiful, and they are just solid white. Now, I don't know if you're there in person, you can probably see better markings on them than the camera, but pretty awesome.
They are pretty, for sure. There's a lot of side chats going on.
Lady Diane's putting up a brine shrimp hatchery together. That's pretty cool.
That is cool.
I think Madeline was saying she wants to get into.
She wants to start worms. A worm farm, yes. And I actually need to actually reach out to the Farrells on that. I did ask Brienne what type of worm would be best for adult axolotls, and she let me know, but I'm going to need to reach out probably to Sandy and get that going so that I can get it started.
Peplin Creek made it in. Hey, Peplin. I did see our local fish store got, I think, like 30 or 40 axolotls in. I don't know what kind they are. They look like her.
So they're
but without the coloring.
Oh, there's no white on them?
I didn't see any.
So then they're black wilds, probably.
But I think they want like 30 a piece for them.
That is cheap. Yeah. Oh, you should not have told me that.
Well, it doesn't mean you're going over there.
I know what we can do with the 90 gallon. Axolotl farm.
No. Nope.
Were they all black or were there different?
No, yeah, for the most part, they were all pretty similar coloring. But some of them did have red antennas
Okay.
or reddish. From the back, I don't know. They all may have had.
Well, hers are red. If you look close enough,
That's probably what they are.
They're probably black wilds. Then she's not a black wild. She's actually, I think they call it black starry night or something.
Yeah, 'cause she's got the spots on her
Right.
head.
Because she's all freckled. But yeah.
Yep. And they also have a bunch of Oscars over there.
But they have the bigger ones, don't
No.
they? The ones that like people get sick of and.
Well, I don't know. They have the tigers, and they have the reds, but they didn't. Again, no longfins. They get a longfin once in a while, but it's usually given to them by somebody who can't take care of them or whatever.
And by then they're huge.
And by then they're gigantic. And I didn't know that Chris gave hers to them, and hers was like a foot long. I'm like, man, I would, and I get her parrots instead.
Skipper, hello. John Larson, I don't know if I said hello to you when you came in, so hello.
Welcome, everybody.
Trying to keep track of everybody coming in and anybody asking questions or giving comments.
But yeah, so I don't know. I would really like to get a hold of a longfin, but the problem with that is I would be afraid to put him in the pool.
Yeah, because I feel like the other ones would constantly nip the fins.
I don't know so much about that. Is I've noticed when you put something in there with longer fins, it kind of gets splits attention.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the waviness. Plus, something like that would look better behind glass than
where you're looking
a pool
down.
where you're looking down at them. You can't really get a full side view of them.
That's true too.
But I mean, I could put one in there.
You could.
Once the red devils come out of there.
Fish.
And probably the green terror.
Yeah, which probably won't be, at least for the red devils, probably not much longer.
They're packing on some size quick.
Pretty quick, yeah.
But they're also like Oscars, they're fast growers.
Yep.
The green terror and the frontosa are really slow growers.
Zen Ginger said longfins also have a harder time being quick to the food
Yep.
and will often be outcompeted in start. And that honestly wouldn't surprise me at all, and especially with our Oscars, because they are,
Yep.
I mean, as soon as that food hits the water, they're popping the top of that water to go after the food. Like, it's definitely a competition.
Yeah. And those guys, everybody in that pool is pretty quick except for Split if he's facing the wrong direction.
Yeah.
But he gets his point across real quick.
Oh, yeah. I mean, anything his size would.
Eduardo says the waviness. Please explain this phenomenon.
With the longfin.
Oh, yeah, just the way their fins flow through the water, I guess. I call it waviness.
Yeah.
Flowing.
Because honestly, a longfin Oscar is very similar to a betta with the way their fins are just constantly at a flow.
I would feel that putting that in the pond, you wouldn't really be able to see. I mean, you're going to see them, but you're just going to have top view. You're not going to get the side view. And there's times where I'll take pictures of my fish and I'll try to get lighting right and all that. I try to be somewhat professional at videoing or taking pictures and once in a while. And it would be nice to get a side view of them once in a while. I got great footage of video. I just don't know how to get it off of there onto here. It's something between here and there are not talking. It's just going to take me some time to work with it.
Mm-hmm.
But I would feel better about having them up here. And honestly, in a 150, pretty much live his life out in there.
I mean, in all honesty, we didn't necessarily have to put the Oscars in the pool.
I just felt better having them in there.
We just wanted them to have more space to roam around so that there wasn't as much fighting for pecking order and
Well, and
real estate.
at the
Really.
time we had six Oscars in a 150-gallon tank, and they were starting to grow bigger and bigger and bigger. And then it got to where the pool was ready to rock. We had Split down there. We had the Maggart, the Pleco down there. And I'm like, man, I'd feel better if we just put those guys down in there too. So that's what we did. And they are super happy down there. They have more than enough room for them. So.
And the blood parrots and Split.
And the parrots and Split. And then my Pleco that I raised from a little tiny thing, he's a foot long too. And I've got another one that is almost a foot long that's gonna go down there too. And I'm pretty sure there's another one somewhere. I don't know, I have so many. Oh yeah, there's one up in Angel's tank too that's probably gonna have to come down here pretty soon.
Yes.
Because that's a 60-gallon, right? Yeah, that was a 60-gallon.
Zen Ginger wants to know what kind of fish is Split. I think I missed it. Split is our almost 3-foot long alligator gar. He actually belongs to Junior Metalhead. And yeah, we had to get that 600-gallon pool because he went from not being very big at all when he was given to her to just exploding. So,
and that pool is just temporary, really. Because
yes.
I plan on building, I wanted to build a bigger, way bigger pond than that. I have the room to build, I think it was like a 14 or 1,500 gallon, or no, it was closer to 2,000 gallon down there. And I still want to do that, but the wood prices had to come down first because that was right when the wood went crazy.
Right.
So I'm like, well, next best option, Intex pool.
Right. And then Zen Ginger just said, how big is the pool? It's what, 6 feet by.
So it's 8.5 long, 5.5 wide, and 2.5 tall.
Yes.
2.5 or 3, I think.
And
nope.
No, Zen Ginger Split doesn't even care about the Oscars. He doesn't care about the parrotfish.
All the Oscars are 10 inches
or more,
9 to 10 inches long. And the blood parrots, he doesn't really try to mess with them. I don't know. A lot of people, I don't know. I think a lot of people freak out. They're like, oh, you can't put anything with gars, they'll eat them. Well, what a lot of people don't realize about alligator gars is they're actually some of the calmest fish you will ever see. Occasionally you find a tricky one, but for the most part, what I have seen out of that particular gar, he's more afraid of them than they are of him, and he's 3 times their size. But if you put a fish in there that's, let's say, 6 or 7 inches long, it's history.
He's going to eat that one for sure.
It's history. If he can get it in his mouth, he's going to eat it. And the Oscars don't really mess with him because his skin is so thick. It's armor, really. But I don't know. We personally haven't had an issue with him trying to nip at the Oscars or eat them, and they've been in the same tank with each other for.
They pretty much grew up together.
About a year and a half, 2 years now.
Yeah.
Pretty close to it. So.
They all pretty much grew up together.
And I get it. It's the whole, well, they grow up together thing doesn't mean anything. I get that.
Right.
Because honestly, if they get hungry enough and he really wanted to eat them, he would.
Yeah.
But he is not big enough to get any of them in his mouth, and he knows it. So that's the one advantage of Oscars being fast growers. Now, if it becomes a problem later on down the road where he gets bigger and then it gets to where I start feeling uncomfortable, I'm pulling them out and putting them back in a 150.
Yeah. And Ginger, I remember alligator garms being mean and
And
aggressive
see,
as hell when I used to go fishing. Yeah.
those are wild caught.
Right.
And when with there's a big difference between wild caught versus domestically raised. Big difference.
We can actually pet split,
Mm-hmm.
and we can actually hand feed him.
Yeah.
He's quite docile for an alligator gar.
Yeah, this isn't a gar that we went out and caught and brought home. This was given to us, but the person that got him from, I'm not sure if he got him from a fish store or got him from a breeder or what, but it was domestically raised. So I'm not saying the predatory tendencies aren't there, because they are. But I don't know. I have not personally seen any reason to be worried yet. Now, once he gets a little bit bigger, that could be an issue. And I'm already prepared for that one. If their day comes, I've got to take them out and put them over there, then that's what I got to do. Or get another tank or whatever the case may be. By then, I may already have another pond built, and he'll be in that, and I can use the pool pond now on the other side, make another fish room over there, and they can stay in that pool, basically.
Yeah.
Just not with him.
Then Ginger said, and to be fair, wild gars are probably much hungrier.
Yep.
Yeah, we definitely make sure that everybody in that pool is well fed all the time.
In fact, I've got, I don't know if they call them giant shrimp.
They're actually prawns. They're called prawns.
Oh, prawns. Okay.
Yes.
I've got a bunch of those thawing right now to take down there in a little while. Probably after the stream, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Yep. But, I've got a spotted gar over there.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the same mannerism that Split has. Super, super docile. He's actually, I don't know, he's a little scaredy cat.
He's a chicken.
Yeah.
He's a water chicken.
Mm-hmm.
But he's so jumpy.
Like Zen said, wild, man, they got to fight for their food. They got to fight to survive. Yeah. So I can definitely see them being angry little fish.
Yep. And Split does not. Split gets fed on a very regular basis. Everybody in that pool gets fed on a very regular basis to make sure that we don't have to worry about that aggression from being hungry.
Yeah.
Miss Fit, hello. Welcome to the stream.
Oh, no.
What? Why are you unknowing?
Because I'm going to have to try and catch more females and take them down to the holding tank again.
So we just discovered that we have some cichlids holding.
Every time you change the water. What's up, Misfits? How you doing?
Fun times. So, yeah. Oscars.
I might just leave them in and let nature take its course.
That's going to be what we have to do. It's getting to that point.
Yep.
Kind of like with all of my guppies, I'm just like, what lives, lives. What doesn't live, doesn't live. You just, they breed too much.
I did pick up some new guppies today. I picked up 2 pink tuxedos and I think 5 white clouds. I think there was actually 6 in there, but I don't think she realized it because 2 of them were
tiny,
that big.
No, that happens. And I think a lot of the time they don't care. They get those extras by accident when they're trying to catch fish, and they're just kind of like,
yeah,
whatever.
Well,
we're going to charge you for what you asked for, even though there's like 3 extra ones in there that we didn't mean to catch.
And these guys, I don't care. They know I don't care. Sometimes they'll be like, hey, you got a freebie. All right, cool. Thanks.
Yeah.
They do have some people that walk in there and expect everything given to them, or give me a discount on this, or blah, blah, blah. I'm the only one that matters. And then I walk in there, hey, guys.
We don't actually do that.
Don't do it. I don't care. If they feel like giving me a discount, that's totally on them. I'm not asking for it.
They actually discounted Frank's price.
Yeah. Well, because we've been using them for 20 years, so Brian's like, hey, man, let me help you out. All right, cool.
Yep. went back in to go and get Frank because he was supposed to be 20.
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to be 20, and he goes, I'm going to sell him to you for 10. I was like, cool.
I didn't know he sold them to you for 10.
Yeah, he discounted him. He was just like, that's cool.
Well, to be fair, that thing was the size of your pinky.
He's a little guy.
And you can actually sit here and see him now. He's going to be a cool little puffer, man.
Zen Ginger said, what is the smallest fish you guys have?
Frank?
Frank's
No.
technically...
No, not now. It would be guppies.
Well, I mean, if you want to talk about fish that are not going to get bigger, it would be the guppies. But
I'm just talking about they're the smallest things in the tank because they're smaller than him.
Yeah. Yeah, we have 2 tanks of guppies.
Mm-hmm.
We have 2 tanks that have guppies in them.
But as far as fish that won't get any bigger,
It would be the guppies.
those Harlequin Rasboras.
Yeah, there's the guppies, and them are never going to get any bigger. But right now, Frank is pretty small. He's only like an inch and a half.
He is
maybe.
now this long.
He's about an inch and a half, probably. Geek boy, what's up?
What's up, geeky boy? Yeah, I got my motor back.
Yeah, I did that for you. You're welcome. Since you couldn't figure it out. Geek boy says, can't stay, just got a short break from the insanity. Well, thank you for joining this insanity to take a break from your insanity. Because this can be pretty insane. It's not mayhem crazy, but it can get kind of crazy. Your stream last night was pretty funny. I managed to watch quite a bit of that before I just couldn't take it anymore, but it was...
We had fun.
You guys were definitely having fun last night, that's for sure.
I had fun.
Kyle coming in and out, yelling quotes and doing impersonations had me laughing so hard.
Camera on.
Camera on. Okay. IHSP, hello and
What's
welcome.
up?
We're talking about Oscars today on my stream. So if you have anything you want to say or anything you want to share, please feel free.
And actually, if you want to come up, you're more than welcome.
There's that as well. I don't know how into being on camera you are, but if you wanted to come up on the panel and talk about Goldie and all of that for a little bit, you're more than welcome. Otherwise, you can just say some things in the chat and we will put them up on the screen and talk about it. So it's going to be every week we're going to feature a fish or talk about, pick a fish and talk about that through my time slot. And I decided why not start it out with Oscars, because I actually really do love our Oscars. It's a fish that we've pretty much always had. And I have a soft spot for Oscars. So
They're like a dog that swims 24/7.
That's why they're called water puppies.
They're just, when we had them in the 125, every time I got home from work, they'd follow me around the whole room. The fish that are in the 125 do that now too, but just because they know, oh, the great food person's here. But they still do it in the pool. I'll go down there and I'll feed the mayhem tank, and then I'll feed the 55 next to it, and then I get the betta down there, and then I turn around and I notice between tank feedings, I'll look and they'll all be right there, and then they'll go to the middle, and then they'll go to the end, and then they'll go all the way back over, and then I'm like, okay, and I got to toss them some food in. And the blood parrots, I've never really been a big fan of blood parrots, but they are really good tank mates with the Oscars, I've found. They're like little puppies. They're little brutes, but they're little puppies. And they drive the Oscars nuts, and now in the pool they're fine. In the tank, we had the one that was just driving them nuts. but down there in the pool, they all just kind of school around with each other. It's pretty fun to watch it.
Zen Ginger says, have any of your Oscars bred or laid eggs?
No.
No.
We had eggs laid once when they were in that tank, the 150, the old 150, not this one. I'm pretty sure they laid eggs, and I'm not sure which one did it. And then that was it. Never happened again. So I don't know. The water's probably not right for them or something.
And it would have been, good God, 18 years ago. We did have a breeding pair. We didn't know they were a breeding pair at the time. And checked on the tank one morning, and one of them was dead. And as we were pulling it out of the tank to dispose of it properly, it was spitting eggs. So the female basically had become egg ridden, which, at the time we were quite ignorant to fish keeping. We didn't really know. But she had become egg ridden. So, but as far as our Oscars breeding, that now our cichlids have absolutely no problem making babies all the time. But
speaking of them, I think I'm going to have to clean one of the canisters out tonight.
Could be.
They're starting to act right back up again.
IHSP says we've named the twins and the catfish that are in with Morpheus. So what did you name the twins? I'm curious to know. And Morpheus was the one that they were trying to think of a name for, and we were...
That's when I said Morpheus.
Yeah. I think that's
kind of
actually
cool. They went with that one.
I think that's actually when her son came up onto one of my streams, and we were talking about needed to think of a name, and Morpheus became the name, which is really cool. I'm just curious to know what you named your twins. I don't even think I know what the names of the Oscars are anymore that we have, because
Hulk, Loki, Thor, and Captain. The one I gave to Tim was Odin.
Odin.
Because he was missing an eye. And then I had Bred, which was the big black one. She passed away on me. That was the one that happened on a live stream one night too. When she passed. Well, she didn't. That's not when she passed, but she was acting real funny and all that good stuff. And I brought her up to one of the tanks up here to kind of see if maybe it was the water in the pool wasn't right or something. All the tests showed everything was fine, but never know. So I brought her up here, and she was doing fine, or he was doing fine. And when I got home the next day, not doing fine, stiffer than a board. So I lost that one. I don't know. That one might have had something wrong internally, because everybody else has been fine. So
they named the twins Artemis and Apollo.
Oh, that's cool.
I think I said that right. Or is it Artemis? It's Artemis, right? I think it's Artemis and Apollo. And my family are big John Wayne fans, so we named the catfish John, Tom, Matt, and Bud. Nice. Nothing wrong with that at all. Yep, it is Artemis. Okay, perfect. That's what I thought, but sometimes you never know. And you get that Karen that's like, no. I saw one on here. Hippie John said, I'm drawing a blueprint right now to see how I can squeeze all these tanks in. Just
good luck.
Lots of precise measurements, and maybe shuffling some things around. You can do it.
That lace and Adonis is so weird.
It swims upside down.
Yeah, he does that. Doesn't bother him at all. He'll make it. When he was smaller and did that, I kept thinking he was dead. That's just him.
So, I actually was like wanted to ask, is it normal for a laced Adonis to swim upside down sometimes, or do we just have a really special?
It is for him. I call him Top Gun
because he swims upside down more than he swims right side up.
He goes inverted quite often.
He's quite strange.
He's always done that from day one, ever since we've had him.
And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with him. He doesn't have like swim bladder or
Yeah, because now he's righted, and he's just he's funny.
He's just weird.
He's like a little fighter jet.
He came from Michigan Tropical, right?
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for the special fish, Michael.
See, there he goes again.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny to watch him, and then he'll go up to the bottom of the glass or the top of the glass, and he'll go into one of the hides, and sometimes he'll be righted, other times he'll be upside down. I got worried when we first got him because I saw him doing that, and I was like, oh man, it's dying. And then I'm like, no, he's fine. He's just awkward.
Weird.
Yeah, I think after the stream, I'm going to pull that right canister out. Anytime I do the water change on, I don't like to mess with that much stuff all at once, but they're.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to give it some time.
IHSP says we pulled everything out of the lower 125 to redecorate again after having filter issues. I haven't put the deco back in, but I can come up and show how much they've all grown. Please do.
Man, more than welcome.
Absolutely. I would love to see the progress.
Yep. I know what's wrong.
What?
See the air bubbles coming out of that right one?
It needs to be purged.
It needs rinsed out.
Burped, whatever you want to call it. Yeah.
Yep. It's getting there somehow.
So here's the thing, because it's showing. No, you have the camera off on that one, so I wouldn't let me.
No, you'll see her pop up. Well, I'll see her pop up.
No, I know. Okay.
I don't know how long Stephen P. sat down there last night.
I remember.
Before I realized he was down there.
You kept saying if anybody wants to come up, and then all of a sudden, and of course he was a smarty pants about it.
See what Hippie says here. That's really the way I want to go. Unfortunately, right now I'm still in my trailer, so I can't stack or anything. Yeah. You could build walls or knock things out. That would be cool, in my opinion. You can just have portable. Hippie John can literally take his fish anywhere he wants to go. That's what I find very cool.
What do we got?
Yeah, Hippie John was he's wanting to stack stuff, but he can't. Oh, there you go.
We're gonna need sound from somebody though.
I'm up all the way, so.
Okay.
Let me see if I can figure out how to fix this.
Turn your phone sideways.
Yeah, hold on.
Right.
I don't have auto rotate on there.
Oh shit. Oops. There you go. I was trying to do that.
Yeah, I remember when these guys were like this big. Now look at them.
Oh, let me check something here. Hang on. Because I have had this happen. Volume. Yep. There's why I can't hear nobody.
There we go.
I put my hand up there. Now the catfish are going crazy.
There we go. Now I can hear you.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
They really have grown.
Hmm.
Yeah, the catfish have probably doubled in length, and they're starting to get bigger round.
No, I can't tell. Are those suncat?
No, those are
No.
black tip sharks or Colombian sharks or something.
Oh, okay.
Let me see if I can pull this forward some.
I couldn't tell they're zipping around so fast.
Yeah.
I remember.
Very cool.
I love watching them. They're so spastic.
I'll check them out.
So cool.
That's awesome.
They are crazy big. Yeah. Oh, we've got extra deco there. That whole tub is full of everything that we pulled out. So we're gonna redo everything.
Right. Yeah, because I'm assuming those cats probably want somewhere to hide.
Oh yeah, it's only been a few days. We've had some serious problems here. Like even the new filter we ended up getting after trying 3 of them.
So you're
So
having
much.
filter problems too now.
Yeah, been fun.
Yep. I've had to do 2 water changes, and I think I just found out why.
Oh no, what's going on?
It's just that these FXs, I don't clean them until they need it. Well, you can test the water, and the water will be fine, but your fish are up at the top going, help. And I just noticed one of the FX6s is purging a lot of air. So
Oh no.
that could be a big problem. Fortunately, I have a lot of parts.
When Morpheus comes across in the good light, he has colored up so much.
I see that.
Yeah, he was a whole lot of more green when he was younger.
Yeah. And he got a lot bigger since the last time we saw him.
Yeah.
He has grown exponentially faster than the other 2.
Yeah.
He was bigger than the other 2 when we got them, but like he has, I don't know, his speed of growth has been way more than the twins.
Yeah.
But I remember they were like so tiny. They fit, all 3 of them fit in the corner over there.
That's the thing I like about Oscars, man. It's like an inch a month with them.
Yeah, we've had them, I don't know, 8 months or so, give or take.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and he is very long.
Yeah.
I don't remember my brother's fish growing long like that. He's not gotten taller much.
I've got Hulk that has gotten longer than everybody, except for one of the babies, which would be, I want to say that one would be Thor. One of the babies has played the I'm going to catch up to Hulk size game. And the other 2 are just kind of hanging right around 9 or 10 inches. But you got Hulk and you got friggin' Thor that are just monsters.
It's all about genetics. And I've noticed that I think Goldie was bigger than Kurt when we got them, but he grew faster. I think it's just all about genetics.
Yeah.
One thing
How
I
big are
noticed,
those cats going to get?
that's one thing I can't find any definitive information on it.
They
The
almost look
sticker
like
at the
pictures.
store said 10 inches. I found 18 inches, 14 inches, 5 feet. So like, I don't freaking know.
Oh, wow.
I don't
5
think
feet?
anybody knows. So I think people are getting some confused.
Yeah.
I'm guessing it's going to be like the 10 to 18, whatever, somewhere in the middle.
They almost look like Pictus, but from the side, they look like Suncat.
Yeah, they're a nice mix. I really like the way they look.
Yeah.
Pictus wouldn't have gotten big enough. And I couldn't find the sun cats. I really want the sun cats.
I wish I'd have known that because I had one last year I could have sent you.
Oh, no. Oh, that's fine. I wanted like 3 or 4 of them, which is why I got the 4 of these guys. Plus 4 was all they had left.
Yeah.
I was going to
would've-
initially get 2, but
I would have kept that sun cap that I had if, I started my tank hoarding sooner. I just didn't have, at the time, all I had was the 150, and I'm like, man, I think he's going to outgrow that.
The albinos are losing their pattern and they're starting to go full orange. I'm so
Yeah.
glad I called that.
Mhm.
Let's see if I can. The pattern's starting to fade away to go full orange, just like Goldie did.
See, the ones that were sold to us as lemons,
Yeah.
they were yellow for like 3 weeks.
Oh no.
And they're pretty much like that now, except they're white, but they have the orange stripe. It's not yellow. So I'm like, well, they're definitely not lemons.
Yeah, we're all sitting here right in front, and everybody's like, "Where's the food? Where's the food?"
Oh yeah. They're like, the food bringer is here.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we call it, the food bringer. Yeah,
Like
I'm kind of
all
glad I
those
came down here in the crawlers we left. We left 2 of them because we just kept dropping them and waited to see if they'd disappear. And 2 of them were left in there and nobody was eating. So we're like, well, we'll leave those 2. They'll disappear. They were eaten. So
They're all like those things on Toy Story. Ooh, the hair.
It's the claw.
The claw, yeah.
oh, yeah. Y'all should see Goldie. She hasn't gotten much, or he. God, I keep doing that. I think I'm just going to continue to just call him she, because that's just, I'm so stuck. For the longest time, I thought it was a female. But Goldie hasn't gotten much longer, really. But God, she's gotten like tall and has thickened up. She's a big old chunker now.
Yeah.
Let me see. Can I get a good? You'll see what the filter problems we're having.
Oh yeah.
We had to rip
man.
everything.
Aww.
Oh yeah, that definitely put some size on.
Oh my.
Ben, pull the.
He's
pull the
almost
mic
a foot, isn't he?
Oh yeah, at least.
Wow.
It was nearly that when we put her in here. Look at like that thick.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Look at that color. And it looks
yeah.
yellowy on the video from my side of it. It's orange, like an orange, like the fruit orange.
That's the bad thing about the cameras, can never get the color right.
See if I can get the front. Come on. Normally he'll stare me down like wanting to fight. Come on.
And see, this is their mood. So it just depends on what mood they're in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. But look at that. But yeah, I can put my arm up there. Get her back over here. Look, there it goes. And that's halfway. He was halfway back the tank, so we're nice and close.
It's like Bobby. Every time I look at him, I swear he's grown.
Yeah.
When we put him in the 90 gallon, he was laying down at the bottom because of the water. I think I got the water off a little bit temperature wise. And I brought a measuring tape out and measured him. He was, what did I say? Like 10 inches, 9.5 or 10 inches. And that's been a few months ago.
Yeah. When we measured, when we were moving her down to this tank, I got 11 inches on her, but she was flexed up. I couldn't get her to lay flat.
Right.
And so I think she was already about almost 12 inches at the time. And I think she's over that now. But
definitely a big fish.
A big old baby. She splashed the floor this morning. Woke my son up. He's like, I woke up to a big old thunk and a splash. It's like, oh no.
Yeah,
We're gonna have to get lid. We're gonna have to get lid catches now.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, now throw an attitude. I'm too close to the nest. All right. Look, guys, it's twitching at me.
Yep.
I love it. I love messing with them. It's crazy. These guys.
That's really cool.
But yeah, these guys have gotten so big so fast. They've actually slowed down growth a little bit, and that's another reason why I pulled the deco out. I was like, well, maybe there's just not enough swim room, so we're just gonna put less deco back in, rearrange it for more direct swim room. Initially, we put it in for hiding. It was so full, but
Yeah, and that's what's going on in the pond. I don't have much. Well, I don't have any substrate in that, and I don't have really any hiding space for them at all. And they have picked up size, and it's just like, man, you don't see it when you're looking down at them. That's why I really wanted to get one of those ponds that has the clear window on it. But when I was trying to find it, nobody had them available.
Oh no.
And I'm like, man, I got to make this happen now, sort of thing. Because Split was getting to where he couldn't turn around in the 150.
Oh.
And like, I got to get something going. So that's why I went with the one that I've got. But, you know, I'd really like to find one of those open window tanks or pools, because then you can get a good side view of them.
Yeah.
If I want a side view, I've either got to take them out of the pool or stick my GoPro in there, and that's a whole bucket of what the hell.
And that's a whole nother perspective too. It doesn't, they won't look near as big as they actually are on any kind of video.
Yeah.
I just like that everybody's a good size, that nobody really picks on anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to be leading those cats along.
They do. But everybody's well fed. In general, they usually have hiding places. Everybody's got their own spot when the deco's in there. So when I redo the deco, I think they'll like it.
Yep.
And I finally got the air pump put up on a shelf up near the ceiling, and now we're gonna start running lines. So.
Oh, okay.
But I can't run the darn thing until I get all the lines set. So.
Right. Let's say hey to a few people. We've had a bunch of people pop in here.
And I haven't been looking at chat. I apologize. Is any questions?
Oh, well, let's see. Who we got? We got, and if I miss you, I'm sorry. We got Redneck. I think Redneck Jesus is in here. What's happening? 503. Shanna's here.
That's not actually Shanna. Let me make it known that Degenerate Fishkeeper accidentally signed into Shanna's account.
All right. So Jason is like playing 2 accounts tonight.
Jason,
what's up, Jason?
Yeah, RJ's sitting right here.
What's happening, S? How are you? Let's see. We got Fishymon 64. What's happening, Fishymon?
Ricky De Hoyos.
Ricky De Hoyos.
Yes.
Oh. Which ones?
I think that's everybody. I could be wrong. And again, if I missed you, I'm sorry.
Oh, how are the tamales, huh? S. Let me show you. Let me see.
Daniel Velez, how you doing, Daniel? Oh, wow. Jeez. Got a lot of action in that one.
Oh yeah. This is our grow out. They're throwing babies at us. We're picking out 10 or so a week. And I know there's more hiding.
Mollies are just as good at that as guppies are. What size tank is that?
This one's a 54 tub, so I just call it a 50-gallon.
Huh.
It needs water. You see the water line.
Oh, well.
But it's open top, so it
Yeah.
And there's a whole lot of water surface agitation, so.
Oh yeah, they're obviously doing just fine.
And I just
I've
got some
been looking at
homework.
getting some of those tubs.
Huh?
I've been looking at getting some of those tubs. getting them from like Tractor Supply and Harbor Freight, or not Harbor Freight. What's the other one? Rural King. That one. Man, they got some pretty good deals on them. I'm like, there you go. There's a big, a pond set up, perfect, and not
Funny
much
thing is,
effort needed.
I got this one for half price. Somebody
That's
bought
even
it.
better.
Somebody bought it and returned it. I didn't know why, but I got it for half price. I get it home. It had a little pinhole leak in it. I think it was like a manufacturing defect, like a bubble in the
Oh wow,
stuff. Fixed it.
super easy fix.
Yeah.
So I mean, you couldn't tell it was there. You could only feel it. You couldn't see the hole.
Oh,
You could only feel the tiniest little edge on it where the hole was at.
get a 2-part epoxy.
Oh, I just
Nothing.
used aquarium sealant I had.
Hey, even that, yeah.
I just squeezed it through, smoothed it over on both inside and outside, and let it dry for a week just because I'm paranoid.
Right.
And it was perfectly fine. Haven't had a problem.
Heck yeah.
And we have the tub elevated so we can level it properly. So if it was leaking, we'd know.
Right. So you don't do what I do and just fill them up and see what happens?
Oh, that's what we did initially. That's how we found it. It was on the bottom.
That video we did of this 150, man, the whole time we're filling this thing up, I'm going, please hold. Because it just came from the guy's apartment into my truck, out of my truck, in here. There was no water testing it.
Right.
And I'm just like, well, it's either going to hold or it's not.
Yeah.
I was actually more worried about the stand holding the tank, because the stand, when we got it in the house, was super janky.
So
I used that
And
one too.
I had to add supports to it, and just things that I shouldn't have had to fix, I had to fix to even put the tank on top of it. But it's doing really good, surprisingly.
Hippie John wants you to explain the filtration setup, and I think he was referring to the filtration in the tub.
Yeah. It's actually because we intended to have it over filtered, like overstocked, because it was going to be a grow out. We've got 2 very large 60-gallon sponge filters in it. And we have this in here for some extra fine filtration, but it also keeps this filter cycled for if we have to set up an emergency tank. Because if it's for fine filtration, we've got some white filter we put over the intake down here. Otherwise, we just keep this one cycled.
Right.
And it lowers and raises. And we just got it. We rednecked it a little.
It worked.
It wouldn't. The thing, we thought it was going to reach over, but it wouldn't clamp on. So we're like, oh well.
If it works, was it a bad idea?
Nope.
Good point.
I say that it worked a lot. It worked. It wasn't a bad idea.
Yeah, and we can slide it right off of that zip tie to move it to any of the smaller tanks.
Well, and where you got those holes, it's never going to affect that thing.
Right.
No, and it doesn't weigh. It weighs all of like not even a half pound.
Right.
Didn't hurt nothing. And it slides right out and sits on the bottom for when we're lowering the water, like all the way, doing a big water change. So it keeps running. Don't have to shut anything off, unplug a bunch of crap.
Right. And so you do what I like to do. I'll just have filters in the pool. These 2 sponge filters in this 150 came out of the pool. I had them down there not really to help the pool, just to make sure that bacteria is established for in cases like this where, I'm not the richest person ever, so I don't have the money to go buy the filtration I want right away, but I want to get the tank cycled, so I dropped those sponge filters in there because they came out of the pool.
Yeah.
They've been down there for months, and it's not gonna. I'm not expecting it to just light that tank on fire and get rocking and rolling. But if it helps the process get started until I can get what I want on there, then there we go.
Exactly. Every
I'm
little
always
bit
one of
helps.
them I'm always one of them. Just keep your filters running. Don't just put
Yeah,
them on the
once-
shelf and let them die off. Just keep them running.
Yeah, once I get the air pump set up and get all these tanks set up and get them prepped, every tank's gonna have at least one extra filter.
Right.
And if I want to, I could pull out a filter from like 3 or 4 of them and stuff them in a canister filter for some bigger tank, if needed.
Right. Right. And what are you doing? Linear air pump?
Yeah,
Yeah. See, I've been thinking about that.
it's a big one, but it was just because it was going to be enough to do the stock tanks I wanted in addition to the rack. And I've tried to order the tanks twice now, and the companies, the stores never call me back. I go in, they're like, oh, they couldn't get a hold of it. Well, you ordered it just like the email told you to. It should have come in. The companies even
Right.
told me that the wait time is only this long, et cetera, et cetera. They won't get them for me. So I think I'm gonna have to go. I hate going there, but I'm gonna have to go all the way like out of town, and go order to this one place that I know will order them for me, all the way up near Leavenworth.
Oh. What kind of tank are you needing?
I want the blue poly stock tanks, the long narrow ones, the 8x3s.
Oh, okay.
The 300 gallon 300 gallon. Yeah. I want a pool, but it would be harder for me to like level and make a soft base where they're not going to get tore up. The poly
Right.
tanks are better for the flooring I have in my basement. So I think they'll be more durable.
I've seen a few of those. Somebody had a bunch of them.
Yeah, I plan to get 2 of them because I want a bigger tank to put these guys in. And if I ever feel Goldie's too big, I really like keeping Goldie in a tank that's easily displayed, but I don't want to limit Goldie, so
Right.
I may use one for Goldie when he or she gets a lot bigger. So,
Right.
because she's still growing, she went like up and down bigger instead of longer right now.
But see, that's what I did with ours. I put them down in the pool.
Yeah.
I mean, S6, they got so much room down there. They don't know what to do with it.
And so I figured I could get 2 of those, and the pump I have will run 2 of those, all of these tanks, the rack, and I could still drop way more lines. I can get another 150 or 300 gallon Rubbermaid tub for something else,
Right.
or a couple more of the 50s like this one with the mollies, and have other stuff in them.
Yeah.
Have a 50 like that with just like cardinals in it would look amazing on that white gravel if I got it.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Stuff like that just pops in my head, and I'm like, ooh.
Happy John did have another question. He wondered what the strainer in that tub was holding.
The what? The stringer?
Yeah, the strainer that you have in the tub with the mollies. He wondered what that was holding.
Oh, the strainer. I thought he said
Yeah.
stringer. I was like, wait, what?
No. Sorry.
No, it's no, it was just my hearing. It's just some half dead hornwort. It's trying to come back.
Oh, okay.
We had it in too small of a tank. There wasn't enough nutrients for it, so we moved a big hunk of it. We're hoping it starts flourishing. I even put some in the cooler outside because it's getting warmer, and see if it'll grow out there. I did a mosquito larvae culture outside last year. It was pretty cool.
Oh, that is cool.
Window screen on top, one of them old like outside bar coolers with the little drain in the bottom. You know, the little
Okay.
tiki looking cooler.
Yeah.
I found one of those on the curb and it held water. So I was like, oh, cool. I'll set this on the corner of the porch.
That works.
Yeah, the lid was all busted, so it wasn't going to be worth using for an actual cooler.
Right.
I was like, well, I can try to grow some plants and, you know, some mosquito larvae. Maybe I was tempted to put some babies out in it last year, but I'm like, no, it's kind of late in the year. Let's wait and try next year.
Okay.
So this year, I think I might put some molly babies out there just to see how they do. Because the cooler itself is probably nearly 30 gallons. I think it's like a good 20, 25 gallon cooler. It's pretty good sized.
Sorry, I had to laugh. Josh just told our cat that she needed to get back up with her baby, and she ain't having it.
She is now. Yeah, you can look at me like that. That's fine.
She
You got a job to do, kiddo.
she had a baby a week ago, and she's already trying to get back outside. So it's become a task.
Uh-oh. Lady Diane's battery's dead.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Oh, I better look at mine too. Last night when I ended the stream, I looked up and it was like 15%. I was like, ooh.
I just killed mine this morning.
I usually keep it plugged in during live stream so I don't have to worry about it, but I don't really want a cord going from across the room in case somebody's got to walk by. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. I was pointing at the twins, and then Morpheus came out of the shadows at the top and startled me. Oh. Us moving that light forward made him some shadow in the back. He kind of likes it.
Wait, you've got your light all the way in the back?
Normally, that's where we have it, so it shines down towards the front, the whole of the tank. But we moved it forward to get light on them for the videoing.
Right. Yeah, I like the way that works. That's kind of what I do on my cube tank.
Yeah.
The other tanks, I don't really have that problem with, except for the Mayhem tank. I noticed I had to lift because I'm down there and I'm looking and I'm like, man, the lids are clean and my lighting sucks. And I'm like, so I picked it up and I stuck the light on, you can extend the feet out, and I stuck it up on top of the little, whatever you call that thing I made.
Okay.
That little wooden top piece. I stuck it up on there and man, it lit that tank up. And I'm like, ha ha ha.
Now you know.
Uh,
Now you know.
See, these guys are playing right by the glass. They're not afraid of us.
oh yeah.
They startle occasionally, but they're not afraid of us.
I just like how all four of those guys school around with each other. You know, and then you got the one like, oh, we're going this way.
Yeah. That's why I'm so glad I got 4 instead of just 2.
Right.
I didn't know if they would, because some catfish are loners and some will stick together. I just didn't know if these guys would, and I'm so glad I did, because they've done that since the beginning.
Oh, that's cool.
But then you have the Oscars that are just like coming through. Don't
Yeah.
mind us.
Yeah.
Ooh, scuffle.
Yep.
Which is what I love about,
Tank boss.
there's attitude going on. This is what I love about Oscars. Like, everybody seems okay for a minute, and then they all get their panties in a twist, and they fight for a minute.
And they're cool.
And then
Like,
they're
attitude is one thing.
Yep.
Attitude is one thing, but I think it was hilarious one time. He was getting way too aggressive. He was biting on the catfish. You could see the teeth scrapes, and he was ramming the twins real bad. A couple of chunks were taken, so we put him in with Goldie for about 2 hours. He's been an angel ever since.
Yeah.
And that's the thing too. How many different times did we have to take at least the bully Oscar and net it and just let it sit in the net for like 45 minutes? Like, you know what you did. And then let it go and everybody's fine.
People say that doesn't work, but it does.
You have to put an Oscar in timeout sometimes, man.
We had to do that with Kurt.
Yeah.
Before we lost Kurt, we had to do that with him. put him in the net and leave it where it won't fall out, and he just had to be in the net for a while.
Right.
Timeout works sometimes.
It really does, especially with Oscars. Sometimes they just have to be put in timeout.
It does not work with African cichlids, I have found out, though.
No.
Yeah, that it doesn't work, but
They have a way better memory.
But with my Oscars, I feel that they're kind of like people that get overstimulated, and so that they start getting aggressive, and they almost get stuck in that mindset, and something like that'll reset them, and they'll be back to their normal self.
Yep. Well, when they realize that maybe I need to cool off for a minute.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh crap, that net came out of nowhere. Now I can't move. Hey, if I don't do that again, I don't go back in the net.
Yep.
But yeah, now we see the occasional scrape on the catfish or something, or occasional knock mark, but it's nothing like it was, because Morpheus was starting to get a little out of control, and we put him in with Goldie for about 2 hours. He was fine. He did, and the funny thing I thought was he never paled out. He didn't get stressed. He was even like pushing boundaries, like Goldie would chase him to one end of Goldie's tank, and then he would come back and get right in Goldie's space.
Right.
Thinking he was the boss. I waited till he started staying over where Goldie would chase him.
Right.
And then we moved him back to this tank.
Yep.
Like getting right in Goldie's face, like, dog, you got balls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've had a few situations with ours, but that was a long time ago.
Paul McCarthy says, I'm super stressed. Just noticed a crack in the back Oscar tank.
A crack?
A crack. Any suggestions? It's 9:30 in the evening. So my biggest concern would be, how big is that crack? And when you run your finger on it, can you feel it?
Where's the crack at? The top of the tank or at the bottom?
Right.
So if it's at the top, you can just drop your water level down a little bit.
Yep. But I feel like
It never happens at the top, though.
not typically, no.
I can't ever get that lucky. It's usually at the bottom.
The biggest concern is going to be if he can feel that crack running his finger on it, there's an issue and that tank is going to blow out. At the back, is it near the top though, or is it near the bottom? Because I feel like if it's that noticeable, that whole tank is probably going to blow out, and there's got to be some kind of an emergency move everybody.
If it's near the top of the tank, though, you can drop the water level a little bit.
Absolutely. If it's near the top of the tank, drop the water below.
And that'll take the pressure off the glass.
Kind of top and bottom.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
Top and bottom.
So,
Is it leaking? Because that almost sounds like something just nicked it or something.
Yeah, that's.
What did? Oh, you pulled the pump thing out. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
See, and that's scary because if it's something that's spread out like that,
Top and bottom.
I feel like that tank is. You might want to figure out some kind of temporary solution.
I would drop the water level about. Oh wow! So it's definitely leaking.
Yeah. Yeah. Those fish are going to have to be moved.
Yeah, temporarily, like Mark Sterlson said, you can use a silicone patch. It'll at least plug the hole for a little bit.
Kind of through the middle. Yeah.
If it's cracked, that tank might be out of commission.
Paul, unfortunately, I'm thinking you might need to figure out somewhere to put those fish through the night.
So the crack, is it all the way through? Like if you put your hand on the inside of the tank, you can feel it too? Because that might be a new pain.
I'm sorry, Paul. That's got to be rough.
Yeah, that sucks. That's
Do
like
you have one of
our
those big
75.
totes?
Our old 75 blew out at like 1:30 in the morning. But I had that tank for 15 years. I don't know why it went bad,
Right.
but
Since I haven't tried that. Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, and honestly, if you can feel that crack from the inside of the tank, there's not really going to be a lot you can do to save it.
if it dropped the water a quarter of the tank, that's not good.
Unfortunately, there's not going to be a lot you can do to save it.
That almost makes me wonder if the tank is somehow out of balance.
Typically, that's how you get
Well,
cracks.
Just it could also be a defect in the glass itself. I mean, it's yeah, like Jason said, the higher the water, the more pressure.
Yeah.
You can lower it a bit, the pressure will reduce. That's exactly what I was thinking.
Maybe at least to get you through the night, but I would definitely figure out an emergency situation because
If you've got any kind of tire patch, like a flat stick-on tire patch, I'd even do that. Or pool patch would be more ideal, but something that you can kind of stick on the inside so the water will put pressure on it and at least slow it down if it doesn't stop it.
Yeah, for sure. That's
that situation. It's whatever you can do to make it happen thing.
Man, Paul, that sucks. And it's 9:30 at night.
Yeah. Oh man. Nah, those anytime a tank breaks, it's never at an ideal time.
No, never. Absolutely never.
Ask me how I know.
Right. Been there, done that.
If you have some silicone though, some 100% silicone, I've seen it done. I hate doing it. I've seen it done. Drop the water level down real low and you're gonna get wet and your hands are gonna get sticky, but you can slap it in there. I hate doing that, but you know, you're in a pinch. That's better than nothing.
Jason said, I just watched a video of a 90-gallon exploding. It didn't look fun. No, when your fish tank does any kind of anything where it's losing water, it is not fun. Ask us how we know.
That's never fun.
Ask us how we know.
It's kind of like your one live stream where I was doing something on, I was trying to adjust the filter level on the pool and earlier that day, and for some reason I walked back down to the pool and they had this much water left.
Oh yeah.
Everybody was laying on their bellies and I'm like, oh shit, there's water everywhere. And yeah,
not fun.
I've done that. My old 75-gallon steam split on the front of it or on the back of it just started peeing everywhere at 1:30 in the morning. Nobody was awake.
No. You typically not.
Yeah.
Are not.
55 gallons. I've always hated 55 gallons because that center support snaps on them.
Yep.
But it's super easy to change tops.
Yeah.
I've just seen a bunch of stuff. It never happens at an opportune time.
Do you have a tote big enough to keep them in that you can hook the filter onto?
You know, and that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah.
If he's got something that he can put his fish in for the night and just put that filter in there.
Yeah, if you've got something else you can put them in, I would definitely do it because if you got a crack at the top and the bottom,
that tank is done.
The glass is compromised.
Yeah. He says it's not good. Yeah, if you have some kind of a tote or something that you can siphon the rest of that water into and then put a filter into it and put those fish in it just to get you through the night, that's going to be the best thing that you can do.
Even at this point.
Yeah, even a canister filter, you can just hook the lines over it and set the filter next to it.
Yep, absolutely.
If you've got like a 40 or 50 gallon tote from Walmart for temporary, I mean, it would be enough.
If you don't have that, a 5-gallon bucket
road.
or something. I mean, it'll suck for them for the night, but
Yeah,
they'll live.
yep. Crack is worse at the top,
Yeah,
yeah.
that glass
Well,
is done.
unfortunately, you're gonna have to get those fish out of there. Put them in buckets. I mean, they're, yeah, you got to get those fish out of there. That tank is not going to make it through the night.
It might, but
I wouldn't count on
I
it.
wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I wouldn't risk it. I'd get them out of there.
No, I definitely would not hope that you're going to get through the night. I would definitely start moving things around now for your peace of mind and for the safety of the fish.
Well, and the thing is that even if all you got's a bucket, they'll be okay in that bucket for a little while, or a cooler or something.
Yep, absolutely.
They'll be okay in that until the morning when you can go get it handled.
So RJ just said our dog just had a failed attempt of jumping onto my bed. Steph, what happened to your poor dog?
She muted.
Oh,
More like my poor son. She jumped directly on his bed, almost got him in the stomach.
Oh,
oh
no.
no.
His bed's down here, so she ran over and jumped on him.
Oh, Paul does have a tote.
Okay, yeah.
Good.
Paul, if I were you, I would get those in a tote and
You
get
caught it.
filtration on it.
You caught it before it got really bad.
Yeah.
I would just get them in the tote, put the filter in the tote, and drain the tank, and figure it out in the morning. Because sounds like to me, at least the pain of that tank is done.
Yeah. I am so very sorry that you're going through that, but you're lucky that you caught it before it became worse than what it is.
Yep.
That really, really, really sucks. But
yeah, I feel your pain there too. I've been there.
Yeah. I think as fish keepers, we've all been there in one way or another.
Mm-hmm.
And thankfully, you were able to reach out and get advice on the best thing to do. Hippie John, take a deep breath, bro. You got this.
That could have been a lot worse.
Yep.
That could have happened in the middle of the night with nobody awake, and your fish would lay there on the floor, and
all night. Yeah.
Could have been way worse. You'd have all that water on your floor.
Yeah.
Yep. You caught it.
It sucks, but you would definitely see the positive in this. You can move all of those fish, and you can save them. You're saving yourself from water being everywhere. It sucks, but
it's never fun. That's the risk we take.
Absolutely.
It can happen any given moment. Any one of these tanks can just go, okay, I'm done. And I've already had that happen once in here. That's just in here. That's not including the entire time I've kept fish.
Mm-hmm.
I've had many, many blowouts.
Just definitely thankful that you caught it before it became worse.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Because it really could have been a lot worse. Hopefully you're able to get everybody moved and, save all of your fish and get something different for them. But at least in the meantime,
they'll be okay in a tote for a little while.
For sure.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Just put your filter on it, and if you can, go in the morning, and if you got to, get a new tank. As long as your filter's still running, you're not going to have to babysit it like you would starting a brand new tank with no filter.
Yep. And Hippie John, that's why we're all here together, right? Help each other out when things get stressful. Absolutely. And that's why, none of us hesitate to say if you ever have questions with your tank or your fish, ask, because the worst that's going to happen is nobody's going to know, but there's always going to be somebody that should be able to help you.
Yeah. But you got a crack that's already dropped the water a quarter of the level. Take the water out of it. It's done. You're going to lose your bacteria on your substrate, but you've got your filter still running, that's where the bulk of your bacteria is going to be anyways.
Ooh,
So that's what I would do.
do you have a spare canister filter or a spare HOB? Big one.
Yeah.
You can
Spare
put some of the
HOB
gravel in that too and just have it run
Exactly.
over straight water.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. I would move them. I wouldn't even,
Or you could even take the substrate and put it in the tote with them.
yeah,
That too, is if it's big enough to have some, yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit of it, it's better than nothing.
Every little bit helps.
And that'll help. Like if you had to go and get a new tank, that'll help get that one going.
Yeah.
But theoretically, with your filter running and your a little bit of your substrate, the only thing I would suggest is maybe buying a bottle of bacteria to dump the whole thing in.
Or
Into the
just
new
use
tank.
a couple of sponge filters that are already cycled in there for extra
Yeah.
because of the tiny space.
Yep. And the bacteria will grow on its own.
yeah. I think the biggest thing now though is that he just gets all of those fish into that tote and gets that set up, gets that tank drained.
Just get it before it blows out.
Yeah.
Because it's on its way to doing it.
Don't even think about it. Don't hesitate about it. Just, I know it's late there for you, but just do it.
Yep.
It's going to be better for everybody in the long run.
Yeah, because by morning that thing could be a 3-panel tank.
And a puddle on your floor. Yeah,
Mhm.
definitely.
That's weird that it would crack at the bottom and the top.
Better
That's
to
just
spend
weird.
2 hours now getting the water out and the fish moved
Yep.
and
Yep,
getting it
yep.
set tonight than waking up at 3 o'clock and losing the whole night to clean up and saving fish, and you might lose some.
Absolutely. And if you got
Yeah.
carpet, that's ruined. If you've got hardwood floors, kiss that goodbye.
Yeah, definitely.
That's why my floor in here looks like crap, because a 75-gallon opened up at 1:30 in the morning.
Oh, no.
And I had just put the flooring in like 6 months prior to that.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, that's all dead now. I got to redo it again. And now I got to figure out how I'm going to do it with all these tanks sitting on them.
Fun time.
What I like about these catfish is even when they have hiding places, they still come out and swim. They'll even swim up near the surface, even with hiding places.
Yeah.
They feel totally at home. So I kind of like that.
Yep. Yeah, they look like they're having a good time in there. They don't look too worried about hiding spots or.
Yeah, they don't huddle anywhere. Well, okay, that's a lie. They kind of like to huddle back there by the heater because the outlets comes right down that wall. They like to sit in the current.
Yeah,
That's
and
about it. They don't-
that's the things with catfish. They like current.
Yeah, when they were little, that was like their favorite spot. They'd all line up there all together. It was so cool.
Even if you get a little power head and put it in there, like a low powered one.
Yeah, we put
doctors
one in
can
there.
adjust
We
to
put
that.
one in there usually on Saturdays because we do water changes on Sundays. My son, that's what stirred it up earlier. My son actually pulled the suction cups out because we got to get the other suction cups for the bigger one. I want to see how they act with the bigger one.
Yeah.
Everybody's all clustered over here.
Oh, looks like Misfit's back. Wes had a good comment too. I agree with that. Why did it crack? It almost sounds like something made it crack. Just to be a split at the top and the bottom is just really weird to me. Unless there was a defect in the glass. I mean, it almost sounds like the stand might be twisting. I'm no physicist or expert, but that's just kind of what it sounds like to me. Misfit made it back. I think I already said that. Man, I like that. I like Morpheus. I like seeing him. He's a good looking fish. Not that the other ones aren't. It's just cool watching him just kind of float by.
Yeah.
Everybody's just trekking from one side to the other.
Yeah.
I could watch that for hours.
Us too. We tend to do that once we're done with all the water changes. Like these are the last ones we do, and when we're done, we just sit here and just because right after water changes, we feed everybody because Saturday they don't eat.
Yep.
These big tanks don't eat on Saturdays, so we do the water changes, we feed them, and then we sit here and we watch them for hours.
Yeah. There'll be times where I'll be down trying to do a video on something or whatever, and I get started on the cube tank and just start watching, and the next thing you know, it's like 9 o'clock.
It's like 2 hours has gone by. Like, oh
Yeah,
crap.
and I start watching another tank, and I start watching another one. Then I go down and look at the guppy tank, and then it's like, ah, shit. Well, there went that idea.
What I think is funny is so many people don't like the tubs, like my 50 with the mollies in it. A lot of people don't like that because they don't look like looking down on them. For some reason, I like this tank with the mollies in it better than I liked the show tank upstairs.
Yeah.
With the
Well,
mollies.
it's kind of cool because they're not being distracted by what they're seeing unless they're looking up.
Right? And they don't.
And they're just doing their own thing.
Yeah. And those fish in that 50 are bigger than they look. When we net them out and we check some of them, just for checking periodically, we'll just look at a batch of them to make sure we're not having any problems.
Well, that's the bad thing about not being able to see from the side.
And they're bigger than you'd think. I was surprised when we did the 75 too. We pulled out every single fish in the 75 and sorted them as we pulled them out.
Right.
Because it was almost at max stock, essentially. They quit having babies. So we pulled everybody out, put all the smaller ones, we split them up between tanks and kept all the big ones in the 75. Some of them big ones are 3.5 inches, three and a half inches long.
That's big for a molly.
Yeah.
For those species of molly, yeah, that's really big. I was surprised. My son was like throwing them in the bucket on occasion because he would get some and I'd catch some, and he'd plop one down in a hand. They were as wide as his palm. And I'm like, jeez.
Oh, man. I just got to say, me personally, and I know Lady Metalhead and everybody probably in the chat room will never be mad at anybody for not commenting while they're driving and listening.
Yes. Ricky DeHoya, a lot of people did say hi to you.
We want you to be safe.
Yeah.
So if you can't comment because you're driving, don't. Get home safe and then comment. Nobody's mad at you for that one.
Absolutely not. I get it. I drive for work.
Right. I will never be mad at anybody for that.
I can't even tell you how many times I will be like just listening to somebody stream while I'm on my way to work or while I'm on my lunch break or something, and I can't respond because I'm driving, but I'm still listening. I'm still there. I'm present. You're not obligated to comment and say hi.
No, but if you're out driving or whatever, pay attention to the road. Don't worry about trying to say hi to everybody. We know you're here.
Well, we knew Ricky was here because he did say hi.
Yep. And I don't want anybody getting in an accident on any of our lives trying to comment.
Right.
No way.
Yeah, if I'm at work, I'll just be like, hey, I'm working and lurking. I'm listening. Yep. Hi, everybody. And then I'm back to work.
Yep. Pretty much if I'm like super busy, I'll just like the chat and then or like the video and I'm right back out.
Go away, yeah.
I usually, while I'm at work, and I do miss a lot of live streams and stuff because I'm at work, but you know, I got things to do too. So, I
I just leave them running in the truck cab while
Yep.
I'm out doing different
I'll
stuff.
I'll go up and hit the like button, and then I'm back out and doing what I got to do.
Yep.
So
I thought it was hilarious. My boss called me the other day, and my work phone was on Bluetooth to the truck radio, and I was outside of it, but I was just close enough to the truck. It was still going to the truck speaker. And before I could get it turned off and try to get it fixed, and I was like, "Hello, you there? Okay, there you are." He was like, "I didn't know what I was hearing. Some man was talking," and I was like, "Yeah, sorry." And I said, "That's one of the podcasts I listened to." And it was the only thing I could think of was the easiest way to explain.
yeah. My boss wants me to create a channel for just a shop, and he wants to have us, when we do stuff that nobody's done or that we have never done, here's how you're supposed to do it, here's how we do it, and let's see if it works.
Yeah.
It'll be slightly educational or mainly disinformational, but it'll be fun.
Okay. I have 2 minutes left in my window here for streaming. So if anybody has any last minute comments, questions, concerns, get those out now.
S got backed into today.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and drop back down then.
You know, I was carrying a dog of bag food. I was carrying a bag of dog food out to my truck one time, years ago, from the pet store. And I seen these 2 cars backing up. And I'm like, well, you guys need to stop. I'm yelling. I'm like, I can't just wave my hands around. I got a 50-pound bag of food right here. And I'm just like, hey, too late. Crunch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I tried to stop you guys. And they're getting out yelling at each other. And I was just like, that was the dumbest accident I've ever seen.
S was in the middle of a cupcake.
Oh.
Hopefully no cupcakes were harmed.
Oh. Now I'm sad.
Well, S already said there was no damage to either car. So now I'm just worried about the cupcakes. I'm just saying.
Well, if there was no damage to the car, I'm sure the cupcakes were fine.
Right.
Were they?
Okay. Okay. Guys, it is 6 o'clock. I need to cut this stream. We have some maintenance that we need to do on some tanks now that we have discovered need our attention. I appreciate all of you for coming in today. IHSP, thank you so much for coming on and showing us Goldie and Morpheus and all of your amazing tanks. It was such a great time. Next week, it is going to be a completely different fish that we spotlight, that we will talk about. And again, if you guys have any suggestions for fish that you want me to highlight, please comment those down below. Lurkers, subscribers, anybody that watched live, thank you for being here. And we will definitely see you next week. You're going to have to end this because I cannot.
Maybe I won't.
From there. Anywho, thank you guys so much. Have a great week. We will see you Monday for Monday Night Mayhem. And until then, have a great week.
All right, guys. Stay metal. Have a great weekend. I'll see you Monday. Who knows? Maybe before, maybe not. Later.